Players just refuse to give up on Red Dead Online. I mean, it's hard to believe, but right now Red Dead Online has more active players than 4 years ago in 2021, when this game was not officially abandoned by Rockstar, when Red Dead Online was still receiving some real updates, content updates, not monthly updates, which are basically bonuses and discounts, all we have now. Anyway, as I said, it's hard to believe, so let me immediately show you the proof that amount of players dramatically increased in Red Dead Online. On this graph you can see amount of concurrent players in Red Dead Online standalone on Steam. And you see it increased. Peak amount in May was 4,420 players, which is the highest amount in a long time, you can see that. And you might say it's not that much, but it's only for standalone and only on Steam. There are much more players who are playing Red Dead Online. We're gonna talk about this later. But anyway, if we will compare to May of 2021, there were only 4,000 players in Red Dead Online, and that's when the game was still not technically dead. It was still not abandoned, and right after Rockstar was selling Red Dead Online standalone for only $5. You see bigger numbers here, it's because Rockstar was selling this game cheaper. Then price increased to $20 and you see amount of players immediately dropped. But anyway, if we will compare to May of any year, and you know, the popularity and amount of players in Red Dead Online is a seasonal thing and it usually drops in May, April and June, we will see that amount of players right now is highest than in any other year. And I'm not even talking about Red Dead Redemption 2 full game. As I know from data, most players are using the full game to play Red Dead Online, and you see again on Steam it has peak amount in May 57,000. It decreased a little bit, but still it's much higher than in May of 2020 and in May of 2021. You see, May of 2021, 24,000 players only, and now 57, so we can tell for sure that there are more players playing Red Dead Online using both standalone edition and full game now than in 2021. But we have data only for Steam, PC, and most players are playing both Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Online on consoles, on PlayStation and Xbox. Unfortunately, we don't have the same data for consoles, but I'm pretty sure that amount of players on consoles increased as well, and here is why. According to this official data from PlayStation, Red Dead Redemption 2 became the most downloadable game on PlayStation 4 in April in both United States, Canada and European Union. Not bad for such an old game. And the most interesting thing, it became the most downloadable game for the 5th month in a row. They don't have a separate data for Red Dead Online standalone, but from achievements we know that around 35% of Red Dead Redemption 2 players are playing Red Dead Online as well, at least trying this game. So there are definitely a lot of players in Red Dead Online on consoles as well. I mean, you probably see a lot of beginners in your lobbies. But why the amount of players in Red Dead Online suddenly increased now, almost 4 years after the last content update? An even more important question, will Rockstar do something about it? Because it's a really interesting moment right now. I mean, last week we've seen a new rumor or leak that Rockstar really soon might surprise Red Dead Redemption 2 community with a version of Red Dead Redemption 2 for Nintendo Switch and also PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. I have few explanations why amount of players in Red Dead Online increased. First of all, it might be GTA 6 effect. Rockstar posted second trailer, there is a lot of hype around GTA 6, and this hype brings additional attention to Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Online as well, because people are comparing GTA 6 to Red Dead Redemption 2, discussing how these games will be different from each other and what they will have in common, which mechanics Rockstar will bring from Red Dead Redemption 2 into GTA 6 and so on. But the most importantly, during such discussions, many people just see how good Red Dead Redemption 2 still looks and plays, how well developed this game is and its open world, and it brings back a lot of Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Online players who used to play years ago and now deciding to return. But also a lot of people who never played Red Dead Redemption 2, and yes, such people exist, are deciding to buy this game, especially since they have some something to do until the May of 2026, because GTA 6 was delayed. And that's the second possible reason why amount of players increased, because from official data that we got during Take-Two's investors call, in the last financial quarter, Red Dead Redemption 2 sold 4 million copies. The main reason is that Red Dead Redemption 2 for the first time received a 75% discount. And now with a discount, which happens constantly, you can buy Red Dead Redemption 2 full game for only $15. But anyway, they sold 4 million copies, which means that there are a lot of new players not only in Red Dead Redemption 2 but in Red Dead Online as well. However, the main reason why amount of players in Red Dead Online increased is kinda weird. Because take a look at this graph. Amount of players just almost doubled up overnight at the beginning of April, and the most interesting thing is there was no reason at all for this to happen. I mean, such increase could happen only for two reasons. First is a huge discount, and there was no discount for Red Dead Online during that period of time. A little later there was a discount, but it was usual 50%, and they were selling Red Dead Online standalone for $10. Second possible reason for such increase could be a new update, but obviously it's not something that happens in Red Dead Online now. Not even a monthly update started that day. So to be honest, I have no idea why such sudden increase happened, why amount of players in Red Dead Online standalone almost doubled up. But anyway, it happened, and now the question is, what Rockstar will do about it? Will they try to make some extra money from all these new and returning players in Red Dead Online? Well, if these rumors that Rockstar will give us next-gen version, or I should rather say current-gen version of Red Dead Redemption 2 are not true, then Rockstar will just ignore the fact that amount of players increased. But if we will really receive a next-gen version, or at least a next-gen upgrade patch, then amount of players in Red Dead Online will increase even more. A lot of people will go back to check how this game looks with all these visual upgrades. Especially if it's gonna be a free patch, a lot of people will go back simply to see how Red Dead Redemption 2 plays in 60 FPS for the first time. And yes, you can play it on PC in 60 FPS, but just accept it, many people don't have a PC. Like, many players have just console and that's it. Anyway, Rockstar will definitely want to earn some additional money from all these returning players, especially if it's really gonna be a free patch. And to do so, they can add something new to Red Dead Online, like a new Outlaw Pass, or at least retuning old Outlaw Passes. Because most players nowadays never had a chance to purchase any Outlaw Pass at all. I'm not gonna be talking about new content updates, because at this point it looks almost impossible, but I'm just saying that if there is a tiny chance for Red Dead Online players to see something new in this game, it is related to this next-gen version of Red Dead Redemption 2. And if Rockstar never cancelled it but delayed it instead, now might be the perfect time to release it, because Switch 2 is releasing, a lot of potential new customers there, and also both Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Online standalone have high amount of concurrent players. And by the way, if you are one of these players who still play Red Dead Online, but you started to feel bored of this game, I suggest you to go and check the video on how to have fun again in Red Dead Online that you can see on your screen now. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video, stay safe, stay healthy, goodbye.